Now on CoastTV News.
A yellow alert for the potential of heavy rain today. Leave extra time to get to your destination. The cool and unsettled weather continues the rest of the week and drier for the holiday weekend, but still cool. Full forecast details coming up next.
Referendum Round 2, a second public meeting as Indian River School District officials make another pitch to raise property taxes.
Hate crime fallout, the organization in Delaware speaking out after alleged racial incidents were revealed in Millville.
Making mayor history.
We know we have a significant need with the lack of funding.
One of the top priorities for Lewis's new mayor on the day she takes office.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And welcome to our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. It is Wednesday, May 21st, 2025.
As we get closer to the holiday weekend, getting another stretch of wet weather, Elisa.
I know, and for your happiness, I'm hoping Bob is incorrect. And we never hope that. We know Bob's always correct.
The thing is, I've worked with Bob long enough. Like, he's got a pretty good batting average.
And also, I'm worried about your friendship because if it rains
Yes.
and this is one of your favorite
It's
weekends.
the most wonderful time of the year.
Bob, there's a lot riding on this weekend for you and Matt. I don't know.
And I know, and I wish I had better news heading into the holiday weekend. I know this is Matt's big weekend and get on the beach and all that stuff. I don't know. It's just looking cooler than average, and we're looking at the weather conditions building in. Now, it's still dry in Sussex County, maybe a little shower near Dewey Beach Drive from Salisbury to Ocean City, and it looks like maybe a few sprinkles around Cambridge. But the heaviest rain is now beginning to build in through Virginia, across Chesapeake Bay, now beginning to fill in around Cape Charles, and a little farther north now. You can see the rain steady to heavy, and it's quickly spreading to the northeast, so it's knocking on our door. And we've seen some lightning with this, with low pressure off to the southwest, another area of low pressure to the north. So it's just a messy scenario right now with this front moving through. Temperatures into the mid to upper 50s right now, probably rising another 2 to 3 degrees. That's about it as we have an onshore flow. Winds already gusting over 20 miles per hour at the coast. 26 right now, Indian River Inlet, and they'll be gusting over 30 throughout the day. So a raw day, rain building in this morning. Here's Futurecast. We see the colors change from green to yellow to orange. By late morning, we're seeing the entire area under this steady to heavy rain, maybe some rumbles of thunder too. Then that moves out to sea, and then it's just kind of a dismal afternoon with clouds and drizzle and temperatures only near 60 degrees. For the kiddos at the bus stop, might want to drive them there. 57 off to school, rainy and cool in similar conditions. Maybe the rain not as heavy heading home, but still damp and pretty wet, and temperatures still in the upper 50s to around 60 degrees.
Bob, let's check out some road conditions on this Wednesday morning. This is Millsboro. You see that glow out there in the distance? I don't know if that's sailor, take warning. Red, What do they say, Bob? Skies. Yeah, red skies. So this is Millsboro at the intersection of 113 and John J. Williams Highway. No rain yet there, but some ominous clouds, and we're expecting some wet roads later on this Wednesday. All right, we move on. Our top story this half hour is in Ocean View, where the second of 3 public meetings this month on a second referendum in the Indian River School District takes place. This is at the Lord Baltimore Elementary School. This referendum is asking voters to approve $22.5 million in additional funding to cover operating costs and maintain competitive salaries for staff. There have been voices on both sides of this issue.
My kids are all grown, but I believe that we've got to support education, we've got to support the teachers, we've got to support the schools.
It would be better if they looked into anything other than turning to us, would really help us. Everybody turns to us.
Tonight's meeting is at 7 p.m. The last scheduled meeting is for Wednesday, May 28th at Indian River High School.
And now an update in the wake of 2 former Millville volunteer firefighters facing hate crime charges. The Southern Delaware Alliance for Racial Justice is working to prevent future issues. They're hosting a town hall tonight in Lewis. Organizers say they plan to review what happened in Millville and other hate incidents in Sussex County. The in-person meeting is at 7 o'clock at the Lewis Public Library, and there's also a Zoom option.
Yeah, the specific concern here is that situation in Millville. Here's what came to light last month. Delaware State Police say in 2024, former volunteer firefighters Jay Droney, Jordan Hastings, they chased a paid employee around with a rope tied like a noose, and according to the fire company, there was continued verbal harassment and racist remarks that were used. Both are charged with a hate crime and conspiracy. Those are felonies. A court official recently told CoastTV that Droney's preliminary hearing is scheduled to continue tomorrow at the Sussex County Court of Common Pleas. Happening today in Lewis, Amy Marasco will become the first woman mayor in the city's history. She is a current member of the Lewis Council and was the only candidate to file by the April 3rd deadline to run for this office. Mayor Andrew Williams decided not to run for re-election. Now, before living in Lewis, she was the vice mayor of Hillsborough, Virginia. Marasco tells CoastTV that her first act as mayor is to encourage people to bring non-perishable food items to meetings that will then go to local food pantries.
I believe that government needs to be compassionate, as well as public safety, all of those topics. But we can be compassionate, and we know we have a significant need with the lack of funding that appears to be the case for our Delaware farmers markets as well as food banks.
Marasco's swearing-in ceremony is scheduled for noon at the Rollins Center.
New this morning in Delaware, a major step forward for Delaware's veterans. The State House has passed a bill to create a brand new Department of Veterans Affairs. The bill would establish a state-level department specifically to support the more than 70,000 veterans living in the first state. If approved, the department would work to improve access to health care, benefits, and federal resources, while also exploring new elder care options and additional veterans' homes. That bill now heads to the Senate.
This just in, a bill introduced in the Delaware House of Representatives would require high school students to successfully complete a half-credit course on financial literacy in order to graduate. House Bill 203 is sponsored by long-neck Republican Jeff Pawlowski. Supporters claim that 95% of Americans have not saved enough for retirement, and if approved, it would begin with ninth graders in the 2026-2027 school year.
New across Delmarva, many communities are preparing to honor servicemen and women this Memorial Day weekend. In Ocean City, the mayor and local officials will gather on Sunday at the boardwalk for a flyover from the Maryland National Guard wreath laying and more. People in Georgetown can head to the circle for the ceremony set to take place Sunday at 1:30 p.m. And in Milford, a ceremony is taking place at Milford High School Monday at 10:30 a.m.
Getting a live look at Washington, D.C. This is taking place right now. This is inside Congress. Some early morning activity. The House Rules Committee meeting on the budget bill being pushed by President Trump. Again, that is happening now. An all-nighter taking place, coming with President Trump urging House GOP holdouts to support his agenda.
NBC's Alice Barr shows us Democrats are slamming potential cuts and accusing Republicans of hiding details.
The committee will come to order.
The schedule may have looked like a typo, but just after 1 a.m., debate began in the House Rules Committee over the massive budget package on President Trump's agenda.
Americans need this legislation to ensure our economic survival.
Democrats slamming the timing.
Then why are you trying to ram it through in the dead of night?
Republicans say they need every hour to work through the details ahead of a self-imposed Friday deadline for full House passage that won't require any votes from Democrats, though Republicans have to overcome internal divisions.
There are critical changes that we need to see.
The bill increases spending on immigration and the military and extends the 2017 Trump tax cuts, while temporarily ending tax on tips and overtime, offset through cuts to food assistance, clean energy funding, and Medicaid, which President Trump told conservatives not to F around with, according to two lawmakers in a closed-door meeting Tuesday.
I think we're going to get everything we want, and I think we're going to have a great victory.
Democrats in the minority have little control but have been messaging hard about the real-world impacts.
Millions of people will lose health care. Prices will go up for folks across the country.
Lindsay Latham, who relies on Medicaid to support her special needs son, is deeply worried.
People will file for bankruptcy when they have to go to the doctor or the hospital, and there will be ripple effects.
Republicans insist they're targeting Medicaid fraud, but the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimates the bill would take health insurance away from at least 8.5 million people. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And we're just getting started in this hour of CoastTV News today.
Coming up, environmental error. That's what Maryland officials are saying occurred in Pocomoke City. The options that are now debated over a fairgrounds arena.
Also, a hailstorm hits a parking lot. The damage done to one local auto dealer from last week's storm and the effects it is having on sales.
And affordable future forming as Milton moves forward on housing option plans. Coast TV News Today is back after this.
It is 6:12 on this dark morning, not this dark. There it is, Cambridge Cam, FH Fur. We're looking at gray skies, and it's getting darker as the rain is off to your south and west, and that will be building in with time. Right now, it's dry across Sussex County, back through Salisbury and the coast, but the eastern shore, you see the rain now just on your doorstep in Cambridge. We have the rain moving in from Virginia's southern Delmarva, and some of this rain is steady to heavy as we go through the morning hours. Temperatures in the upper 50s, and the wind's picking up too as well, so it is just really messy out there. You can just leave the golf clubs in the garage today. Forget it. Yeah, don't do it. It's going to be damp and rainy and a high around 60 degrees.
Thank you, Bob. And Milton's Planning and Zoning Commission is considering future affordable housing plans at Tuesday's meeting. Officials discuss recommendations from the Affordable Housing Committee. No actions were taken. Officials say the Planning Commission and the Housing Committee are still working to get on the same page and polish out the details.
Going to stay in Milton. Happening today, the Slower Lower Film Festival at the Milton Theater. The event features several productions from regional filmmakers. Organizers, Revival House, say a Q&A with attending filmmakers will follow the screenings, and audience members can vote for their favorite using a digital ballot. If you go, you may actually see Coast Life's Leah Rizzo. Tickets are $10 and $5 for students and seniors. Doors open at 6 p.m.
Coffee-loving travelers will love this one. Dunkin' has partnered with JetBlue Airlines and created this Dunkin'-themed airplane. The brewing altitude was unveiled last week at Boston Logan International Airport. Travelers were welcomed with Dunkin' coffee and donuts to celebrate the Airbus A320's new paint job. Passengers on the celebration flight also received free Dunkin' coffee for a month.
On Tuesday, Apple CEO Tim Cook met with President Donald Trump at the White House. That's according to a Trump administration official. That official says they don't know why the two met or what they talked about during the meeting. However, last week Trump said he told Cook he didn't want Apple making products in India and urged him to do more manufacturing in America. Cook previously said tariffs could cost his company $900 million this quarter. The company has shifted some of its iPhone production to India to help offset the costs of manufacturing in China.
Cloudy skies right now, a live look in Laurel, 57 degrees. The rain is moving in. It could be heavy at times today. We do have a yellow alert in place for the heavier rain, maybe some thunder too, so make sure you pack your patience. Unsettled the rest of the week, remaining cool. Dry for the holiday weekend, but not entirely dry and staying on the cool side. Your forecast details in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Time is 6:17, and we're getting a live look at what is a very cloudy Wednesday morning there in Lewis. You can just see some hints of the sun making an ominous picture there.
Yeah.
But, Bob, we have yellow alert conditions. You've been talking about it all morning, and you're tracking some rain that is moving in on Lewis at some point today.
That's right, man. Actually seeing some peaks of blue sky there on the tunnel and Razor Cam, but that is temporary as we are looking at the clouds rolling in. And as Matt mentioned, it is a yellow alert day for rain that could be heavy at times. So we issue these alerts when the weather is impactful, and that'll be the case today, especially on the roads with ponding on the roads, maybe some minor flooding. Below average temperatures today and really the rest of the week too, as it remains unsettled with scattered showers and still on the cool side. Rain likely today. We continue that rain threat as we go through tonight into Thursday. The chances do drop off as we go into the end of the week, but still lingering showers Friday. We dried out Saturday and Sunday. Then Memorial Day, I was hoping we could keep it dry, but right now it looks like showers move back in, and that could be the case into Tuesday as well. Right now we're dry across Sussex County, just seeing overcast skies, and the same for Salisbury back towards Ocean Pines and Ocean City. The eastern shore, cloudy, and now awaiting the rain in and Cambridge. Best pitch as we're seeing the rain moving into Chesapeake Bay right now, into Crisfield, just about to move into Chincoteague as well. You can see some yellow indicating some steadier to maybe heavier rain, and that's a solid shield of rain as we go back into Virginia, into the Richmond area and Norfolk. And we had some lightning in this earlier around Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina, Elizabeth City. It looks like we've lost the lightning a little bit, but we definitely could hear some rumbles of thunder as this big blob of rain is moving our way, thanks to low pressure developing across the Piedmont of North Carolina with another low across the Great Lakes. So it's just a messy scenario as this front continues to move in. Temperatures in the mid to upper 50s, only climbing a couple degrees as we go into the afternoon, and those winds gusting up to about 25 miles per hour now, and they'll get stronger through the day as the steady rain builds in. Here's Futurecast at 8:30, steady to heavy rain, maybe some rumbles of thunder as we go through the later morning into early afternoon. The steady rain on the coast around 1:30. Then I think we do get a little bit of a break this evening, cloudy, drizzly, damp, and breezy with that easterly wind. Still some showers overnight into Thursday, but I think Thursday we'll get some breaks in the clouds and temperatures into the 60s, maybe 70 degrees. But then by afternoon, another round of showers, and we're looking at more unsettled weather, I think, as we go into your Friday, beginning in the 50s, and still a lingering shower as we go into Friday. Not expecting severe weather today or tomorrow, but definitely some rumbles of thunder as we could see about a half inch to over an inch of rain with this system, and those winds 30 to 35 miles per hour, even stronger at times. Not as strong inland areas, but pretty windy as we go at the coast today, and chilly down the road into the weekend and next week. Temperatures below average as we're looking at a dry Saturday and I think a dry Sunday as well with below average temperatures. Then we're going to be looking at showers later Sunday, I think clipping part of our area Sunday into Monday. So not an entirely dry Memorial Day and temperatures below average. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, 60 today with the yellow alert for heavy rain, lingering showers Thursday, 68, maybe even a few showers on Friday, upper 60s, and then the weekend, upper 60s Saturday, lots of clouds. Some sun, 71 Sunday. Then Memorial Day, we have some showers, 74, and lingering showers into Tuesday, still on the cool side and lower 70s.
Thank you, Bob. New overnight, other parts of the country are experiencing severe weather. A storm moved through Alabama on Tuesday, spawning several tornadoes. This video shows a funnel cloud flashing through Huntsville, Alabama. There are reports of power lines, and thousands of people have been left without power.
And here in Delmarva, we are still seeing the effects from last Friday's storm. At the Preston Automotive Group, company leaders say hail damaged about 1,500 cars. The hail caused dents on their outdoor vehicles. Preston says they don't have a dollar figure yet on all that damage, but all the cars will be fixed and then sold in what they're calling a discounted hail sale.
When a storm like that hits and you have 1,500 cars, you don't expect it to come and there's nothing that you can do. So you kind of have to ride it out and then kind of assess the damage afterwards.
According to Preston, crews will begin assessing that damage and fixing up the cars, which could take 3 to 5 weeks.
And up next on CoastTV News today, environmental error, why the future of a fairgrounds arena could be in jeopardy. Don't go anywhere. Pocomoke City officials are still working to remedy an environmental violation at its fairgrounds, putting the future of this horse arena up in the air. The Fair Committee built the arena a few months ago, only to find out shortly after it was placed on top of a wetlands designated area. Maryland's Department of the Environment has tasked city officials with fixing that issue.
Our main ultimate goal has always to work with the fairgrounds. We want to make sure that the residents of Pocomoke City and our tourism, that they can come in and use the fairground as much as possible.
As for the direction moving forward, the city has two options. It can return the property to the way it was or let the horse arena stay and build out the wetlands somewhere else. Interim City Manager Brandy Matthews says officials are leaning towards option B. And Matt, you were just asking Bob during commercial break what the surfing could be like over Memorial Day weekend. He wasn't giving you necessarily the answer you wanted.
Well, that I'm wondering because of the rain and the rough weather we're having today, Bob. Rough waters, I think, will be in play for the upcoming days heading into the holiday weekend.
True, yeah, with that easterly flow, definitely the surf is up. We'll see waves around 3 to 5 feet on the coast, Matt. But the weather's not conducive to surfing unless you're hardcore and out there with the wetsuit and really enjoying it. But it's going to be rain rainy in Assateague and Chincoteague today. Some of that rain heavy, temperatures around 60 degrees. UV index obviously low. Fenwick Island and Ocean City, it's a washout. Maybe support the local economy, some retail therapy. It's looking at temperatures into the upper 50s. Small craft advisory goes into effect at 10. And then rainy the next 2 days in Cambridge, a little drier on Friday, but still cool. And then for Crisfield, rainy today, maybe some storms Thursday, drying out Friday, and then into the holiday weekend, drying out, not entirely. I'll explain more on that coming up in the next half hour.
After the break on Coast TV News today, a new mayor makes history. We'll tell you how Lewis will make history today as it swears in a new leader.
Also, referendum plea review, the next opportunity for Indian River School District officials to make their sale and for people in the district to learn more about funding plans.
And support for equality, we'll tell you about the town hall happening today after an alleged crime in Millville. Coast TV News today. We'll be right back.
Now on Coast TV News.
A yellow alert for the potential of heavy rain today. Leave extra time to get to your destination. The cool and unsettled weather continues the rest of the week and drier for the holiday weekend, but still cool. Full forecast details coming up next.
Racism under fire. How one Delaware organization is attempting to ensure incidents like the one alleged in Millville don't happen again.
Politics of property. President Trump set to meet his South African counterpart as that nation continues its land redistribution policy.
District dollars debate, the latest pitch by Indian River School District officials for more funding through property tax increases.
This is Coast TV News Today.
Wednesday, May 21st, 2025. Good morning. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
We're approaching 6:30 on this Wednesday morning. The goal
Yes.
is to stay dry today. You and I both
Absolutely.
have hair concerns on
We
this.
do have hair concerns. I wore my rain jacket because I listened to first serving meteorologist Bob Trahey. Did you bring yours?
I did.
Very good.
Yeah.
Got to protect your hair. An umbrella too. You can never be too careful.
I know, Bob, but you have that
Yes.
checklist. You have all those things, and I guess we should at least use a lot of them today if we want to stay dry.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, no. Umbrella, raincoat, rain boots, the whole deal. And pack your patience as well. And by the way, good morning, Elisa and Matt. We are looking at the cloudy skies across Delmarva and Sussex County. We are seeing some breaks of blue, but that's only temporary. Cloudy from Salisbury to Ocean City and Newark and the eastern shore. Well, we're starting to see rain now building into Cambridge, down farther south out of eastern Virginia into the Chesapeake Bay area. Crisfield getting into the rain, so is Chincoteague. You see these yellow areas indicating the heavier rain. Did have some lightning earlier, seeing heavier rain around Williamsburg into the Norfolk area, Richmond as well. This is all advancing to the north and east and will be moving in during the course of the morning hours as low pressure is developing to our southwest. And we see that moisture that kind of arcs up into the northeast. So it's a very wet pattern moving in. Temperatures in the mid to upper 50s, out the door 57 to 58. We're only climbing another 2 degrees. That's about it. As we have southeast winds, east winds continuing to increase 25 miles per hour at the coast, getting breezy inland, and they'll continue to ramp up as this easterly flow strengthens and we see the rain building in, steady to even heavy at times. Here's 11 a.m. You see these orange areas from Millsboro to Salisbury, maybe some rumbles of thunder by 1 p.m. Still looking at steady to heavy rain. Then that starts to move out, get a little break later in the afternoon, but still pretty drizzly and dreary. Drivecast, it goes from a yellow light to a red light at 7 because that rain's going to pick up and it's going to be heavy at times. Watch for ponding on the roads, and then rain still likely on and off as we go into the PM commute.
You, Bob. We're going to take a look outside at some of those rainy conditions. Not seeing rain right now. This is a look at Ocean City. Hopefully, maybe it'll stay that way, but I think pretty soon we're going to see those conditions change. So as Bob mentioned, drive with caution this morning and throughout the whole day. And in the wake of 2 former Millville volunteer firefighters facing hate crime charges, the Southern Delaware Alliance for Racial Justice is working to prevent future incidents. They're hosting a town hall tonight in Lewis. Organizers say they plan to review what happened in Millville and other hate crimes in Sussex County. We spoke with Southern Delaware Alliance for Racial Justice ahead of tonight's meeting.
Intense, educational, informational reviews with their people to let them know that whatever the roots of the thinking was that led to this, they're wrong and not acceptable, and they're based in ignorance.
The in-person meeting is at 7 o'clock at the Lewis Public Library, and there is also a Zoom option.
Now, the specific concern is that situation in Millville. So here's what came to light last month there. Delaware State Police say in 2024, former volunteer firefighters Jay Droney and Jordan Hastings chased a paid employee around with a rope tied like a noose. And according to the fire company, there was continued verbal harassment and racist remarks were used. Both are charged with a hate crime and conspiracy. Those are felonies. And a few weeks ago, a court official told CoastTV that Droney's preliminary hearing is scheduled to continue tomorrow at the Sussex County Court of Common Pleas.
An update on a story we have been covering in Sussex County, the second of 3 public meetings this month on a second referendum in the Indian River School District will take place tonight. This will happen at Lord Baltimore Elementary School, and this referendum is asking voters to approve $22.5 million in additional funding. This would cover operating costs and maintain effective competitive salaries for staff. That final meeting on this referendum is a week from tonight at the Indian River High School. Tonight's meeting is at 7 o'clock in Ocean View.
This morning, a bill approved in the Delaware Senate expands the number of judges in Sussex County. Currently, there are 17 family court judges in the state. If approved, Sussex County would get 1 additional judge, bringing that total to 4. According to Senate Bill 157, paying for the new position was included in the fiscal year 2025 budget. With Tuesday Senate approval, it now heads to the House for consideration. Today in Lewis, the city is getting a new mayor, and it is making history. Amy Marasco becomes the first woman to ever hold that office. She was the only candidate to file by the April 3rd deadline to run after current mayor Andrew Williams opted not to seek re-election. Marasco announced her candidacy while serving as a member of council and also treasurer on council. The swearing-in ceremony is scheduled for noon at the Rollins Center.
New this morning, the unofficial Memorial Day weekend travel period starts tomorrow, and AAA predicts more than 3.5 million passengers will get on a plane between then and Monday.
Those flights come as issues across the country are under scrutiny after outages at Newark's airport. Amy Kiley shows us how the U.S. is implementing a new FAA policy ahead of the holiday weekend.
People would be surprised to learn that Newark's not alone.
The FAA is reducing the number of flights at Newark Liberty International Airport by about 25%. Its new order limits them to 28 arrivals and 28 departures per hour for now. Those numbers are set to rise to 34 when some daily runway construction ends. The changes come as many Americans are preparing for Memorial Day weekend and the unofficial start of summer. But holiday travel isn't the reason for the new limits. They follow weeks of flight delays and multiple air traffic control outages.
The system as a whole is extremely fragile. It's aged to the point now we're starting to see widespread failures.
Experts say aging equipment is part of the problem at Newark and other airports across the country.
Most Americans today walk around with more computing power in their pocket than air traffic controllers have at the ready.
Air traffic controllers say staffing shortages are another concern. One who's on trauma leave from Newark says his team was stretched thin during last month's outage.
Pushing people beyond their limits is not good business, period.
Such revelations might make some passengers nervous, but experts say they shouldn't be.
If you break it down, flying versus taking a train, taking a boat, driving your car down the street, statistically, it's the safest mode of transportation.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
We are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. this morning, and happening today, President Trump is set to host South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa at the White House. This visit could pose a tipping point for the two countries, which are in a diplomatic feud. President Ramaphosa is hopeful the meeting with Trump could reset relations. This trip comes about a week after a group of white South Africans arrived in the U.S. with refugee status. The Trump administration has criticized an expropriation law which powers South Africa's government to take land and redistribute it and not make compensation.
We have more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, a strange bird surprise, the long flight this bird may have taken to appear on Delmarva.
Also, Decatur title hopes dash. The Seahawks run into a Buccaneer buzzsaw in the Maryland Boys Lacrosse State Championship game.
In growers' financial growth, the increasing success for Delaware's farmers markets. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
As we observe Memorial Day weekend, we honor the memory of the brave men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation. This solemn occasion reminds us of the cost of freedom and the courage of those who have defended it. We salute all those who have served and fallen, whose legacy inspires us to cherish and protect the liberties they fought so valiantly to uphold. Let us remember their lives, not just in moments of silence, but through our actions that uphold the values they fought for, ensuring their sacrifices were not in vain.
Spicer Brothers and Coast TV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva. If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a Coast TV salute, go to coasttvsalutes.com.
6:40 on this increasingly wet morning, and we're seeing the rain falling in Cambridge now. FH FERCAM, that rain moving from southwest to northeast. Still dry in Sussex County, but starting to see some showers maybe around Salisbury towards the coast. And here's the rain moving into Cambridge, Taylor's Island, Chesapeake Bay. It's all moving in from Virginia, and some of this is moderate to even heavy. Had some lightning earlier, still some lightning around Elizabeth City, but we're seeing that lightning kind of fading out as it's moving to the north and east. And temperatures not budging much. We're in the upper 50s now, maybe warming a couple more degrees with this easterly wind gusting to 26 at the coast, and it's going to be a icky ferry ride. Yes, that's my meteorological term for today, icky. Rainy, windy on the ferry, temperatures in the upper 50s pretty much mid-morning until the afternoon. And those winds gusting up to 30 miles per hour. You're going to see lots of whitecaps out there. Congratulations to Edward Watt from Rehoboth Beach. He has a new umbrella. Great timing, Edward, from Coast TV and Paul Davis.
In Delaware, a new bill aims to make state government websites more accessible to non-English speakers. Talking about House Bill 302, it requires translations in any language spoken by at least 0.5% of the state's population. The English version of each site would need to include a clearly visible link to the translated version.
Delaware farmers markets hit a record $4.5 million in sales in 2024. State officials say they are hoping to top that in 2025. The Department of Agriculture says the state is aiming to top $5 million in annual sales this year. And Governor Meyer has proclaimed May 18th through the 25th as Delaware Grow Week. The state says this week recognizes local markets and food producers.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
We had a state final classic at Stevenson University last night. Stephen Decatur and Ken Island faced off for all the glory. Let's get to the action. A little over 8 to go. KI up 2. Parker Mason on full throttle. Drives to the net and scores. That makes it a 1-goal game at 11-10 KI. Then, off the ensuing face-off, Brody Lynch wins it, gets into open space, and he just lets it rip. It bounces in, and Stevenson is rocking with the Seahawk faithful. We're tied at 11. Still tied, 6 minutes left. Bucks attacking. Keegan Green takes it with some space on a screen, buries the lefty shot. KI back up 1. A couple minutes later, it's Decatur looking for another answer, and the Seahawks are going to get it. All knotted at 12. What a back-and-forth thriller we got. KI's turn yet again. Little over 3 minutes left. They turn to Connor Gardner. Blitzing to his right, crossbody, and he puts the Bucks back out in front, and that would do it. KI bleeds out the final 3 minutes, and the state title is back in Stevensville. Bucks secure the 2A state title by a final of 13-12. This marks the 3rd state title in 4 years for Ken Island. That'll do it for sports. Have a great day, everyone.
And coming up tonight on DSN at 6:30, Sussex Tech hosts Polytech in girls soccer. Then catch a recap of all of the action on the final score at 10:30.
In music and movie news now, here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
A Lifetime Achievement Award for Rod Stewart. He'll be honored at this year's American Music Awards for his remarkable career. Stewart is also set to perform on the AMAs for the first time since 2004. The 2025 American Music Awards take place Monday in Las Vegas.
Keep going. Okay.
Elle Fanning is joining the Hunger Games franchise. She's set to appear in Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping as Effie Trinket, the character played by Elizabeth Banks in the original films. The movie is due in theaters November 20th, 2026.
When the need for certainty is absolute and the odds are deemed impossible, the mission falls to him.
Tom Cruise's castmates say there's no such thing as a mission impossible to the series producer and star, even shooting the franchise's final 2 films amid the COVID pandemic and multiple Hollywood strikes.
He's not negatively affected by obstacles and challenges. He keeps forging ahead and he keeps focusing on the long game of producing a movie that we can all be proud of.
Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning is in theaters Friday. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniels.
Increasingly ominous looking conditions on the tunnel razor cam, gray slate skies, and the rain is on our doorstep. We have a yellow alert today for rain heavy at times, maybe some rumbles of thunder too. Pack your patience this morning. It's going to be unsettled, and that continues the rest of the week. Drier for the holiday weekend, but not totally dry and staying cool. I'll have your forecast details in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
The time is now 6:47, and we are taking a live look outside at Ocean View this morning. Bob, no sun, gray skies, clouds that we don't really love to see. Not the most beautiful late May day, and last week it was really warm outside, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Well, Lisa, this is going to be the best that today has to offer as far as dry weather. I know, but that's the way it's looking. We're looking at increasingly wet conditions. It's rainy, but we did issue a yellow alert. I issued this yesterday for periods of rain that could be heavy at times. We issue these alerts when the weather is impactful, and today is one of those days. We're going to see some ponding on the roads, maybe a bit of flooding with below average temperatures, and the rest of the week is just pretty much unsettled with periodic showers and temperatures still running below average. As you see, we're like right to the top of this graph, likely raining today, and we're still looking at scattered showers through Thursday, but it starts to tail off a little bit by the end of the week, but still that chance of rain through Friday. I think we're dry Saturday and Sunday, but then I tried to keep Memorial Day dry yesterday. It looks like the rain returns there, unfortunately, and into Tuesday. So part of the holiday weekend looking good, and hopefully Memorial Day not a washout. Looks like some showers starting to move into southwest parts of Sussex County around the Laurel area. Very, very light around Salisbury back towards the beaches. But we're seeing the steadier rain around Cambridge back through Taylor's Island. And then farther south, Nanticoke, the rain is on your doorstep. As we're seeing that rain moving in from eastern parts of Virginia, even heavier rain around Crisfield into Chincoteague, and this continues to spread to the northeast. So it should be moving into Sussex County here within the hour. We're looking at that heavier rain through eastern Virginia, even some lightning around Elizabeth City. This is where those storms are a little feistier, but it looks like we're losing the lightning as this activity is moving to the north and east with low pressure across North Carolina, another low across the Midwest. So it's just a messy pattern for us. Temperatures 57 to 58 degrees, maybe rising another couple degrees. That's about it. As winds are getting gusty now, over 20 miles per hour at the coast, gusting over 30 later on. As the winds pick up, the rain builds in, moderate to heavy through the evening hours, maybe some rumbles of thunder. And yes, we're looking at that rain still hanging on around the 1:30 hour. And then by this evening, it does back off. Still some scattered showers, cloudy, damp, and we're still continuing that pattern as we go into Thursday. But I think we'll see some breaks in the overcast Thursday, and temperatures still cool into the 60s. And we're looking at maybe another round of showers tomorrow evening as the flow is coming in out of the northwest. And then Friday, I think we're seeing better chance of sunshine, but still a lingering shower cannot be ruled out. Not expecting severe weather today or tomorrow, but definitely some rumbles of thunder as some places could pick up over an inch of rain. Looks like the latest model backed off a little bit, but about a half inch to about an inch with gusty winds, maybe up to about 35 miles per hour at the beaches. Not as windy inland and chilly as we head into the weekend and beyond. Temperatures still running below normal. I think we're looking at a dry Saturday and a dry Sunday, but then later Sunday into Monday, I think we could get clipped by a little bit of rain, but I don't think Memorial Day will be a washout. Paul Davis 7-day forecast. We got the rain today, 60, the high 68, showers Thursday, and then upper 60s Friday and Saturday. Yeah, still below normal temperatures. 71 Sunday, Memorial Day 74 with a few showers, and those showers linger into Tuesday with a high of 71.
Bob, Salisbury officials say they are looking to the community to help shape the future of the city's neighborhoods, history, and culture. They're hosting one more comprehensive plan focus group. This will focus on water resources, environmental resources, and sustainability. That is scheduled for June 12th, starting at 6 p.m. at Salisbury Fire Station 16.
A rare bird has been spotted by passengers on the Cape May Lewis Ferry. According to the American Birding Association, experts were able to identify the bird as a streaked shearwater, making it the first ever documented sighting of the species in the entirety of the Atlantic Ocean. The bird typically breeds near Japan, Korea, coastal China, and Russia. And the time is now 6:52, so we are going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
And today's coastal pet of the day, that is Oakley, everybody. And we're being told he's as grand as the tree.
Aww.
Oakley loves to visit his pappy and grandma from Elk County, Pennsylvania, but this beach bum also loves relaxing by the waves. Oakley was submitted to us by Scott and Monica in Longneck.
And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
QR code top center, scan that. Get your friends to us, and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
It is 6:55 and it's time for the things you need to know before you go. We have an update on the wake of two former Millville volunteer firefighters facing hate crime charges. The Southern Delaware Alliance for Racial Justice is working to prevent future incidents. They're hosting a town hall tonight in Lewis. Organizers say they plan to review what happened in Millville and other hate incidents in Sussex County. The in-person meeting is at 7 o'clock at the Lewis Public Library, and there is a Zoom option.
Milton's Planning and Zoning Commission considering future affordable housing plans. At Tuesday's meeting, officials discussed recommendations from the Affordable Housing Committee. No actions were taken. Officials say the Planning Commission and the Housing Committee are still working to get on the same page and polish out details.
And it is 6:56. We're going to take another look at our late May forecast. Just
Late
to clarify.
May forecast.
It is late May.
Bob,
yes.
we're getting ready for some rain today.
Exciting
Yay.
stuff. Yeah.
Watch still says March or April. Well, that's
Feels
what the
like
weather
it.
feels
It
like.
does.
It's not good. It's cool and it's increasingly wet. We're starting to see the rain moving on to the eastern shore right now, Oxford down to Cambridge. And then we're looking at showers, too, that are getting pretty heavy around Crisfield into Chincoteague. So we're still dry, Salisbury, Ocean City into Sussex County. But the rain moving in here the next half hour to about hour or so. And it could be heavy at times as we go through the day. That's why we have the yellow alert in place. So drive with caution, pack your patience. You can see temperatures move very little, mid to upper 50s, maybe 60, and gusty winds over 30 miles per hour at the coast with the yellow alert today with a high of 60. Paul Davis 10-day forecast, 68 Thursday, I think a little more sunshine and still some showers, a lingering shower Friday, 69, and then the holiday weekend, not perfect, but dry Saturday and Sunday, upper 60s Saturday, 71 Sunday. I don't think Memorial Day is a washout, but there will be showers around. So for ceremonies and cookouts, not too bad. Just pick your spot. 74, and then still some showers Tuesday into Wednesday, and then finally warmer and drier end of next week.
All right, thank you, Bob, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News today.
And the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
Then we'll be back for Coast TV News midday at 11.
And for even more news and coverage you can count on, download our Coast TV News and weather apps. Have a great Wednesday morning, everybody.